Hi, welcome to VNN, our edition of Innerview as part of our discussion series. And we have with us Ambassador Praveen Verma, and we'll be discussing today, of course, the burning issue of the day is the coronavirus and its impact on Canada. Welcome to VNN.
Thank you, Bala. We are here once again, but this time amidst a major crisis, worldwide crisis, a pandemic, as we say, the coronavirus. And different countries are handling at a different level, one would say. And how do you think that it's been handled in Canada?
Now, of course, Ontario Premier Doug Ford has declared an emergency.
Yes.
And after the provinces reported one death. Canada's toll has now reached 5. So we don't know whether it's going to exponentially increase in the number of infections, the number of deaths. So I think it's better that something should be done all across Canada. Actually, Trudeau has praised Ontario Premier for declaring an emergency, and I think other provinces also might follow suit. We'll see.
There is one worry which comes into my mind. We've seen other countries, even India, taking very proactive action right in the beginning. But Canada seems to be a bit slow on its reaction to even restricting passengers to come in and universal checkup at the airport and people coming in. And even today I'm told some people have come in and they were not checked.
There's no screening at the airport.
That's the airport, and that's the entry point.
All passengers. I think that's what is needed now.
It was, since the announcement yesterday, it was that all passengers mandatory check will be done.
Yes.
But I'm told, I've been informed by some people who have been coming in over here, that it's still not rigorous and some people have sort of come in. It's very strange because Canada is it's a big country and an affluent country, and it can afford money. If India can start mandatory checkup right from how many days? It started from 12th of March, I think, the mandatory screening of every passenger, whereas here it's not been started as yet. Theoretically, yes, it has been announced, but still not, I'm told.
I think that is what happened. I think throughout Europe also, they were a little hesitant. They thought, okay, it's confined to China and countries of, say, Southeast Asia. But see, they have controlled it. South Korea has controlled it effectively. Singapore has almost... the infection rate has come down. Nothing. China too.
Yeah,
hardly
anything being reported. Epicenter has moved from China to
Europe
Italy now.
To Europe.
Yeah. You see, they were caught. What you can say, pants down, because they did not understand the intensity of the virus. And then, of course, now the theory is that because Italy has a larger senior population,
that's what they're saying.
Has been hit more. And the fact now that both China, Singapore and Korea have reached the peak and are coming down.
Yeah, and I think now they have flattened the rate.
Other countries have not reached the peak. Italy has still to reach the peak. But at least in India, USA, Canada, the idea is that the peak is not so high. It has to be at a lower level. Yeah. That is the whole idea. And the transmission should not move from the second stage to the next stage, that is community transmission. Unfortunately, today I heard somewhere that there was one case where a person has been tested positive COVID with no travel connection or connection
in Canada.
In Canada. Yeah. So that would mean that this community transmission may have happened over here at that time, and that is the most dangerous aspect.
I think this Premier Ford's idea of stopping cinemas, restaurants, I think that's a very good idea.
That's a very good idea.
It should have been done a week ago. Yes, I think that would have become more effective.
This emergency status in Ontario is a very, very welcome move. It was announced by Ford in the morning. And it has been very well taken, and everybody is expecting some sort of a restriction, and everybody is prepared for that. It's a pandemic. It's not like you are thinking in terms of what happened in floods over there or what happened in fire over there. It's happening to you. Even today, I and you are affected in these issues.
Yeah, I mean, in India, all the monuments were shuttered and cinema halls were closed. A lot of malls were closed across India. I think that it was about 10 days ago. They started.
India, there's a different issue. India, there's a problem of lack of testing.
Testing,
The
yes, that's
number of testing being done in India is considered to be too less. Now, the government of India must have thought something about it, and they have been very proactive in stopping the virus to come in itself. And one thing is very sure, that the virus is not local. The virus has
Just
to come
come
out from
from
somewhere.
outside.
So if the travelers are stopped, the virus is stopped. And if a traveler has come in, his contacts are being monitored, that is more than enough. India, we know, as a large country, it's a large population. And people are living in villages where there is hardly any foreign contact. So when there is a criticism
that's-
of lack of contacts in terms of percentage of the population, a large percent of Indian population
It's agricultural,
is hardly
rural
touched,
areas.
hardly touched by anybody coming in. So
Yes.
those that
That's why it is
50%,
safe, much
therefore
safer.
it's much safer in the rural areas,
Yeah.
in the semi-rural areas, in the small towns and cities where people would have gone in from coming in from Delhi, they would have gone to a sort of a place like Patna.
That
or a
becomes
place like
community
Varanasi. Yeah.
community transmission.
So community transmission has not been detected over there,
Yeah.
and the whole problem in India is to stop that, and the government is working for it. Now I think the private sector is also coming into play,
Yes.
and hospitals and beds are being made available to the government. And the biggest point is that earlier the government of India had said that testing will be done only at government centers. I think there's a move to allow
Privatize it.
private organizations also to do the testing. So that testing angle, which is the main criticism about Indian control,
Yeah.
is being looked after, and hopefully it will take care. But then criticism is a very valid one. We need more testing to be done in India, because there could be people who have escaped in and may spread it later on. And once community transmission gets into India,
Very difficult to stop it.
It's a difficult problem. It's a very difficult problem.
Here, another thing, a very good, interesting thing, good thing, that is the CIBC has already announced that it's going to close most of its branches. I think only for ones with ATM
I
services or cash services will be kept open, which is a good thing. I think all banks should follow
Yeah,
suit.
all institutions we deal with
Deal with
public,
public,
deal
yes.
with public have to cut down there. Like the bus services have gone down. The transit services have gone down.
But then
One in
nothing,
three are moving. Similarly, all these companies also, the banks also, their transactions have come down. What will you do with a full branch with all the
That's
people
true,
sitting
nothing.
over there with no customers coming in? So automatically their services also being come down. Even consular service, you must have seen that
Yeah,
Indian
the Indian
consulate
consulate
over
has stopped.
here
Yeah,
has
they
stopped consular services to the extent that essential services are being done. But things which can be postponed can be postponed. That's the whole thing. We have to take precautions nowadays.
So, what does this emergency measures entail? I mean, generally, emergency means what? The state takes control over everything. They'll decide what to do.
Emergency
Individual rights don't count anymore.
No. Emergency measures, as far as I understand, in these situations is that it gives government the emergency powers to utilize resources,
Whatever.
utilize money, utilize medical facilities, utilize people to be transferred from one place, like medical
Right.
personnel, without any legislation. You see, today we have so many laws.
That's true.
You transfer one person from one.
They can file a case against.
He'll file a case that I cannot. Now, under these emergency powers,
Yeah.
state has the power to ask, like a person who's licensed in Manitoba can come and he can be called and asked to
Work
practice over here also. So the emergency powers would basically entail state functioning in helping them to garner more facilities to combat this.
I mean, they can take over office buildings, warehouses, convert them into
Yes,
hospitals.
yes, yes.
If there's a need, if there's a large scale
I
infection,
hope that situation
yeah, it doesn't
happen.
arise,
Doesn't
but
arise.
they
Yeah,
can do,
yeah.
can be done.
It can be done, yeah. Emergency means like that. Like you've seen all these American movies.
I mean,
like
zombie
Indian
movies, yes.
The police work, and then they
Yeah.
hijack a car, but take a car and run after the people. So similarly, if there is an emergency, I'm sure government will be entitled to take drastic measures and drastic.
Hope that zombie apocalypse things don't occur here in Canada.
Yeah,
I mean, then water supply is cut down, electricity gone, and then what happens then? There's mass deaths everywhere.
Don't panic.
No,
We are
not
spreading
panic.
panic. We are
What
spreading
there
panic.
can be a scenario, isn't it?
When that scenario comes, we'll all be we'll be more worried about that.
Survivors will be say rioting for food and no, not just
I don't think, because things have been taken
It'll
care
be
of
under control, yes.
at the right time. and we have seen the epicenter actually being shifting to
Control,
another
yes.
place, and we have seen rapid medical advances in terms of vaccines.
Isolating the
and-
virus.
but
Canada has
Adam,
isolated the virus.
India has isolated
India
the
has
virus.
isolated the virus. Israel has.
So now, I'm sure it will take 1 year or so to get a patented vaccine.
Although they're
But
saying
some medicine
3
will
months,
come
yeah,
out quickly.
something
Some
very
medicine, as a matter of fact, in India you got allopathic and homeopathic. And there is a combination of drugs which they say in India they are using, and it's working effectively.
But they're talking about cow urine. Drink cow urine and you're that's
you
supposed.
always have these sort of people
That's I
over
know,
there.
that's
Yeah,
true.
and they had, I think, they put up a show drinking cow.
Yeah.
Let's ignore that.
But
What can we do?
Israeli rabbi said, read the Torah and there won't be any coronavirus.
Yeah.
In Iran, a mullah says applies some or special olive oil to your private part somewhere and there's no coronavirus. I mean, these things happen.
In the Indian mythology, Hanuman is considered to be the Vinashak of
Yeah,
anything
all
evil.
disease.
Now he's been treated as COVID Vinashak.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, anyway, let us see how things develop. Yeah.
Not to panic.
Not to
Not
panic,
to
yeah,
panic,
absolutely.
because that is the main thing, and keep washing your hands. That
Yeah.
is the main thing, and then prevention. That is how you.
Yeah, I think the Canadian government, the provincial government are on top of things. They will do a wonderful job.
They have woken up,
Yeah,
maybe
they will
a
do a
bit
good
late,
job.
but then I think within the last 2 days we have seen lots of activities in
And the
terms of-
US too, the infection rate is going up in the
Yeah,
US.
Yeah.
Let's see how the US
They also were late in
handles it,
restricting
yeah.
people coming in. But prevention and action against the virus has been taken very well. Now tomorrow I am told that Trudeau is announcing major
measures.
economic measures
Yeah.
to sort of take care of the businesses, especially small businesses and the employees and the small workers, how to take care of them. He's already announced 5,000 of loan available to Canadians who are abroad and want to come back as soon as possible. So
I think he'll offer a tax break. I think conservatives are asking for it anyway, to raise the tax limit and give more in refunds.
yeah,
So that might
let's see
happen.
tomorrow. I
Let's see.
think the big package is coming
Yeah.
in, and then next week, hopefully, when we meet, then we'll discuss those things
Right.
and see what happens. And what I'm more worried about is this community transmission, which one case in Ontario I think has been detected, and if that has been detected, that's a serious issue. That matter has to be tackled very quickly.
Yeah. Thank you, Praveen. Thanks,
Thank you
and
very much,
very
Bala,
interesting
and,
discussion. I think
we
we'll
hope-
take up this issue next week and
Yeah. Thank
as part of the interview and discussion series. Yeah, thank you. And keep watching VNN.